Hi there. My name is Valerie Simmons. My best friends, and only my best friends, call me Val. I'm 23 years old and I work in a cubicle for some big accounting company. Nothing special. The last day of my old, boring-ass life began normally enough. My alarm jolted me awake at 8:45 a.m. I live unusually close to work, hence the short commute, and I rushed out of bed. Okay, I slumbered like a brain-dead zombie out of bed. I hurriedly dressed in my signature blue jeans, white top, and brand new boots I picked up on sale yesterday. I skipped my shower for the second day in a row, God I must stink, climbed into my crappy Nissan and sped down the street. I sighed. It was not going to be my best day. I knew that much. But then again, whoever has a best day anymore? The one thing that was going to get me through the day was Punk Goes 80s. Never heard of it? It's a CD released by Fearless Records, where punk bands like Ruffio, Sugar Cult, and Motion City Soundtrack get together and cover old 80s songs. It's my all-time favorite record. I cranked up Forever Young by So They Say, probably my second favorite song on the album. My number one favorite was the Gatsby's American Dream cover of Just Like Heaven. It has almost 50 plays on my iPod, I just can't get enough of it. As I pulled into the office parking lot and entered the building, I was missing my precious music already. I walked straight by Mike Reynolds, hands down the hunkiest guy in the office, and then he smiled at me. Holy crap, he smiled at me! And folks, I'm an average-looking girl, to be brutally honest. 5'2", 145, short dark hair, average-sized chest, nothing to write home about. But Mike was one of the most sought-after guys in the office, and if he thought I was worth smiling over, thunk! That was the sound that brought me back to reality. Well, that and the weight of my boss slamming into me. The papers he was carrying were flying through the air, and my flimsy little self was knocked to the ground. As I picked myself up, I met my boss's piercing green eyes and knew I was going into the fryer. Mind watching where you're going, Miss Simmons? He scowled. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Andrea Riley, the office bitch, giggling to herself. Andrea was truly the devil's spawn, and every time I made the slightest slip-up, she was there to rat me out. Sorry, sir, I said, putting on my angelic face. It won't happen again. Well, you better hope not. I suggest you get to your desk, Miss Simmons. God, I hated being called Miss Simmons. It made me feel like a schoolgirl who was getting punished. I obeyed my boss and slumbered to my cubicle where my best friend, Jen Wild, was waiting for me. Jen and I met in second grade. There was an animal cracker incident that bonded the two of us for life. Sorry for not backing you up there, Val, Jen apologized. You can't back up clumsiness, Jen. I peeked over the wall of my cubicle, but Mike was already gone. I sighed. Hell of a way to start the day. I returned to reality. Taking a look at the paperwork I had to fill out, I knew I'd need some assistance. I fished through my desk drawer and pulled out my iPod. I always made sure to stash it in my drawer for crappy days like these. Making sure no one could see me, I snuck in the headphones and hit the one song I knew could lift me out of my funk. Show me, show me, show me how you do that trick, the one that makes me scream, she said. Suddenly, one of my headphones slipped out of my ear. I looked up to see Andrea with a wicked grin glaring down at me. The headphone didn't slip. The bitch yanked it out of my ear. Enjoying yourself, are we? She asked in that I'm better than you bitch tone that she has. Look, Andrea, I'm not in the mood for this today, I retorted. Oh, I'm sorry, she said sarcastically, twirling my headphone in her fingers. But there are rules here you don't seem to show respect for. And there's a Val here who you're not showing respect for. Won't happen again, I said. I should have gotten a medal for restraining myself. I don't think you... Look here, Andrea, Jen had stepped in. I don't recall Jacobson promoting you to supreme ruler of the office, so why don't you leave the girl alone before I tell him about your unusual number of breaks each day? Andrea looked like she just missed a shoe sale. She cleared her throat and slumped away. Jen smiled at me. I figure I owe you for not backing you up before. Have I ever told you how much I love you? I praised. Jen held up her pinky and her pointer finger, a little signature of hers, before answering the call. Learning my lesson, I stashed my iPod back in my desk drawer. Another sigh, and I thrust myself into the paperwork. See, I do get stuff done every once in a while. What seemed like hours of filling out forms passed by. I was trying to remember what the little red X's meant when I noticed the clock. 12:15, time for my lunch break. I leaned over the cubicle wall to ask Jen where she wanted to go, but she was out cold on her keyboard, gibberish typing itself on her computer screen. Guess I'm writing solo. I briskly strode through the office and out to my Nissan. Then I noticed the trees. The way that they were blowing in the wind looked like a photo opportunity. I grabbed my camera from the trunk and immediately started snapping pictures. Photography has always been my hobby all through high school. Ever since I picked photography as an elective just so I wouldn't have to do that thing where they give you a fake baby and make you take care of it, I loved how photogenic the world looked afterwards and the amazing photos I got out of it. Through my lens, I noticed something strange. The sky, once bright and sunny, now looked like the eye of a hurricane. I know because I saw it on a National Geographic special I watched while bored at 2 a.m. And then I heard it. An incredibly loud humming sound shot through the air, and I covered my ears, dropping my camera to the ground, which was suddenly swallowed up when the ground opened up before my eyes. No! I reached from before, but it was too late. My camera was gone. A large boom caught my attention. I whipped around to see that the cars parked outside the office building were exploding and flipping over one by one. My Nissan went up, yay! And all the windows of the buildings blew out. The sky was in a frenzy I'd never seen before. I heard a rumbling sound, looked up to see the building imploding itself into the ground. Jen, no! I never had time to think about that. Why? Because my hands were disintegrating. That's right, my hands were disintegrating. It started at the tips of my fingers and traveled down my arms. Slowly and slowly, I was dissolving. Pieces of my body were becoming tiny particles before disappearing altogether. I lost feelings, and all the parts of me that were, well, gone. I made a soundless gasp. I couldn't believe my eyes. My legs started to evaporate as well. I was slowly turning into nothing. By now, all that was left of me was my torso upwards. The last thing I saw of my green planet was devastation eating up the world around me. As my neck began to dissolve, I took one last breath and closed my eyes, and then I was nothing. Before I continue, I should probably address some things. No, I'm not dead, otherwise how could I be telling this story? It's been 7 months since all this happened, and let me assure you, I could not be happier. This was the best thing that could have happened to me. And I know you're all wondering what the hell is going on, but I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'm going to let you discover it for yourself. So without further ado, let me show you my new life.